What it do, Cripple Crew? EDC with DBD, disabled but deadly, and I have 4 killer knives from the new premium side of Kubey, KB Knives. And we got some gorgeous knives to look at today, so we're going to get into it right after you make sure that you stab that like button, that you flash subscribe, and that you bash that bell for notifications so you don't miss anything like I missed that flick. Now, the KB Knives Stroller is one sexy beast and is the newest of the 4. But it is sold out at the moment, so it's not the one we're going to start out with. We're actually going to kick it off with my boy Loot 10 Tex, also known as New Breed EDC's first KB Knives design. I believe this was his first one with KB Knives. This is the KB Knives New Breed EDC Hydro. The Hydro comes in at an overall length of 7.3125 inches with a blade length of 3.35 inches. M390 is our blade steel with a cool little wicked clip point with a little bit of a poon. And we've got a flat grind and a beautiful stonewash finish. We have a handle length of 3.93 inches, a blade stock thickness of 120 thousandths, and a weight coming in at 2.6 ounces. Yes, only 2.6 ounces for this beautiful CEO style knife. It's actuated by our flipper tab, which works beautifully for that light switch or push button. We have the thumb hole, which you know I tend to lock myself out on frame locks, and this one I definitely do because it's so thin. However, it works beautifully for me for the reverse flick. We are locked up with our titanium frame lock. We do have a hardened steel lock bar insert. We've got about 40% lockup, and we are perfectly centered. The stroller has beautiful milled titanium scales and anodized tie hardware with a tip up as the gods intended, non-reversible, milled, nearly deep carry pocket clip. It is semi-tight, and you would think that with the texture it'd be tough to get in and out, but these little diamonds, they are smoothed over on top. So I was surprised that this actually slides in and out of the pocket very well. Quick hardware check. We've got a T8 on our pivot. T8, if our lock bar insert is T8, everything's going to be T8. And I like how they've hidden the pocket clip screw. Loot also hid the lanyard post inside of that titanium backspacer. So if you want the lanyard, you've got the perfect spot for it. And if you don't, it doesn't break up your aesthetic. Kubey has fantastic edges. Whoop, and it helps if I can actually hit the paper. And this is no different. Very, very, very slicey edge. We also have a nice pokey tip if you had to do any puncturing with this. I wear an extra large size glove, and I have a little bit of room still behind the pivot. This jimping right here on the thumb ramp really locks you in, and the texture of on the titanium also helps lock you in. I do have enough here for a trigger pull choke up if I needed to, but I can use this little poon right there for my thumb if I'm doing some extended cuts. It is pretty neutral in the ergos, so it's comfortable in just about every grip, and it does lock in beef jerky, defender, and avenger grips, and it feels like it's going nowhere. And of course, being a frame lock, as you're squeezing it, you are putting more pressure on the lock bar, making it less likely to fail. Our M390 is heat treated to 60 to 62 HRC, and Kubey does a vacuum and cryo heat treat. So that's perfect for M390. Couple quick size comparisons. Here is a Spyderco PM2, which is going to come in a fair bit longer, about 3/4 of an inch, or about nearly an inch longer. And here is a TRM Neutron 2, which comes in slightly smaller or shorter than our KB Hydro. This is a CEO style knife for show, a perfect date night knife. If you're wearing slacks, even if you're wearing gym shorts, this is the perfect knife because it's very lightweight, and being titanium, it's not likely to, it's not going to corrode on you. And M390 is highly corrosion resistant. It's also going to hold its edge for a good length of time. I do want to point out that our plunge grind starts there, ends right there, so we do have good sharpening life in that choil. And because the stop pin is behind the flipper tab, if you did use this and needed to extend that, you can. That's the Kubey Hydro by our boy Luke Tintex. Love that knife. Next up is the Kubey Wrath. And now the KB Knives Wrath. The KB Knives Wrath. Oh, real quick, price on the Hydro. If you go through White Mountain Knives, it is $216. Code DBD saves 10%, so it drops it under $200. All right, the KB Knives Wrath. Ooh, listen to that ting. As you can see, is a karambit coming in at 7.17 inches overall length with a 2.52 inch M390 Hawkbill blade with a flat grind and a stonewash finish. We have a handle length of 4.65 inches and handle length of handle material of titanium. We have a blade stock thickness of 120 thousandths, a weight of 4.41 ounces, and this is designed by MUZI Designs. Many ways to open this, whether it's the blade hole, the front flipper, the rear flipper, or the wave feature. There's plenty of ways to open the Kubey Wrath, and as a karambit, this is absolutely designed for the beef jerky Avenger grip. This is a knife to protect your bag. And in that use case scenario, it is very well built for it. Our titanium backspacer wraps all the way around, and the gears really help my thumb lock in and give you a nice punching base. The handle itself, with the geared full-length backspacer, is very comfortable, locks into my hand, and this milling really makes it feel like I have full control over this knife. You can turn it around and use it this way if you wanted to. If you were using this to do some EDC stuff, if you're slicing through cardboard or something, it's going to trap it right here. This would be a killer cardboard shredder, because it's going to trap the material in the middle of this hawkbill blade. But what this blade shape is really designed for is this pokey tip is going to bite into anything it comes in contact with and pull this blade deeper. So imagine a side of beef. If you were to hit that side of beef with the tip of this knife, it's going to drag itself deeper, so that when you cut, it's going to drag that material all the way to right here and get you a very, very deep slash. Very well designed. I like the titanium the titanium filler clip for the reversible pocket clip, which is nice, so you can carry this on either side, whether you're left or right-handed. Or, even if you're right-handed and you want to carry it in your offhand, that's currently how this would be set up for me. I would carry this exactly the way this is set up in my left rear pocket to pull out. Now, I do want to talk about the wave feature real quick a little bit. So, that wave tab there is meant to catch your pocket as you draw the knife and open the blade so that when you pull it out of your pocket, it's in your hand and ready to go. I found this wave feature not the easiest to use. This pocket clip is very tight, and it does really catch this texturing here. So it's tight trying to pull this out of the pocket. And you do need to pull it up a little bit before you angle it to catch the wave. But I find that it's tough to pull, and then it just pops right out of my pocket. And if I try to angle it to catch the wave, as I'm pulling it out, it doesn't work. You got to pull it up a little bit first. Like most wave features require you to pull it up slightly before you yank it out. And they're typically, you know, it takes a few tries to get it down and a little bit of practice. But I have tried this one a few times, and it wasn't very intuitive for me. And it's also a little sharp. If I had this, I would knock that down a little bit on these corners. Otherwise, it's going to eat pockets up. Other than that, this is a very nice design. It comes in at $280. And if you use code DBD at White Mountain Knives, saves you $28. Drops it down to what, $252? So, pretty beautiful knife. In this grip, it is actually very comfortable. If I had this on me and I had to use it for some EDC tasks, I could use it pretty comfortably in that grip specifically. But in the grip it's made for, it feels locked in. That's the KB Knives Wrath. Next up, let's go with that beautiful stroller. So the KB Knives Stroller, to me, is the sexiest of the bunch. Coming in at 7.68 inches. So this is a full-size EDC with a 3.35 inch CPM 20 CV drop point blade with a flat grind, and this time a really nice black wash finish. We have a handle length of 4.33 inches, a blade stock thickness of 140 thousandths, and a weight on this bad boy of 4.31 ounces. The designer of this is UTILIZATOR. And I really like the maker's mark there. You can read that UTILIZATOR. I am not familiar with this designer at all. I haven't heard the name before this knife. But if this is their first design, boy, did they knock it out of the park. This is an ergonomic dream. So, first, let's go over some of the materials. We've got the beautiful, in this case, bronze anodized titanium scales, and wraparound back spacer. I love how that stands proud of the scales. We have an awesome titanium pocket clip. It is tip up as the gods intended, mostly deep carry, especially for a milled titanium pocket clip. And it has this cool, design on the pocket clip. We have Damascus pivot collars, and in this one, the beautiful new Damtanium camo carbon. I love this blue and purple and black combo, and you're going to see it again on our next knife. But the stroller's actuated with that awesome fuller. Let's see if I can do it with my thumb. I can. I don't lock myself out with this one. We've got a beautiful front flipper. And the front flipper is, let's see. I'm sure. Oh yeah, reach around approved. And then we've got this back flipper that works great for the push button or the light switch, and I do have to say, it is fantastically well tuned on the detent for all methods of opening, and that is very impressive. We do have a frame lock, but with the way that the inlays cover part of the cut of the lock relief, or the lock bar itself, it acts kind of like a bolster lock, allowing you to keep your fingers off of the lock bar when you're grabbing the knife, which is why I can open it with my thumb, even though it's a frame lock. It also, look how they've done this pocket clip, so that it is nowhere near that lock bar relief, and that lock bar relief is covered by the camo carbon inlay. Also, because this pocket clip lays on that camo carbon inlay, it does go out of the pocket very easily. It grips well. I mean, it's a toy pocket clip, but it goes in and out of the pocket very well. I love the millwork all over these titanium scales, providing jimping on the scales both underneath and above. It really locks this knife into your hand. All the texture on these scales lock me in this saber grip position, and it is very, very comfortable. Choked up though with this generous finger choil, I feel like I could cut here for days. I'm locked in with jimping all around this knife, and if I need to, I can throw this thing in a utility grip very comfortably and get that tip down. It's also comfortable in a pinch grip, the way the handle is designed. I really like the width of the handle and the shape. It goes well with the hand, and this proud backspacer feels very good. If you can't tell, I'm highly impressed by this knife, and unfortunately, currently, the stroller is sold out. Of course, they will be back, and they're listed on White Mountain Knives at $280 or $290. So when they are back in stock, code DBD will take $29 off, dropping them to $261. I think that is very fair for what you are getting here. All of our hardware is T8, including our pocket clip screw and our inlay, screws, which is very cool because usually those are T6s. This is the inlay is proud of the scales all around, but because of the design of the knife, it goes perfectly with the rest of it. This is my favorite of the 5 color combos. I really like the bronze and the damtanium, and I have a feeling that I will absolutely be adding a KB stroller to my lineup. The ergonomics in this grip are hard to describe how good they really are. This is, to me, the most impressive of the KB knives I've handled to date. With this KB lineup, Kubey really has stepped their game up. And Kubey has always done beautiful work. But as you can see here on the KB knives, whoops, that was my fault, Vertigo, their quality has gone up from what we have previously come to expect from Kubey. This KB Knives lineup feels amazing, and it reminds me of the same type of increase in quality that I have felt recently in some of the artisan cutlery premium knives. The details are what really set the KB knives apart. The KB knives Vertigo is the smallest of our knives, coming in at 7.24 inches, so still a medium size, a decent size EDC, with a 3.11 inch drop point blade of S35VN. With a flat grind and a stonewash finish, we have a handle length of 4.13 inches with titanium scales, and again that beautiful damtanium camo carbon. We have a blade stock thickness of 120 thousandths and a weight of 3.71 ounces. Our designer is Peter Carey. And now on this one, the inlay is seamless. Once again, we're rocking all T8 hardware. Like the Hydro, we have a hidden pocket clip screw. I love that. We have a nice geared titanium backspacer, a milled tip up, right hand only pocket clip that is once again on the camo carbon inlay, so it goes in and out of the pocket very well. The scales on this have this softened feeling that I can't really describe, but it's a feeling I don't normally feel on titanium. It reminds me a little bit of the premium Pony Stout, which of course was OEM'd by Kubey. But we have chamfered edges all around our scales. Our titanium scales do not have much milling. They have a little bit of milling for weight relief, not much. We do have a hardened lock bar insert once again for our frame lock. Lockup is just about 50%, perfectly centered, actuated by our reversible thumb studs. Whoop, that was my fault. And the action is phenomenal. Once again, because of the camo carbon inlay, I do not lock myself out with that frame lock. And that action though, it drops right to your thumb and then wants to close. Oh man. And it's not a strong, it doesn't feel like a strong detent. But as soon as I break, it takes zero effort. And as soon as the detent breaks, that blade is flying open. Even though this one's a little smaller than our others, I do get a full 4-finger grip behind the pivot, and the jimping on this thumb ramp does lock me in right here very comfortably. Because of our choil, I can choke up behind the edge of the blade and throw my thumb right up here if I need to get some control and strengthen the cuts. But this nice low tip is phenomenal for EDC. You do have a nice tip here, or a nice pokey tip for any puncturing tasks. But this low tip is going to be so easy to use for precision cuts in a pinch or in a utility grip. And that tip is going to let you do very precise cuts. If you were to turn this around to cut straps, very comfortable. Once again, we'll throw these into the Beef Jerky Defender grip where I'm locked in, or the Beef Jerky Avenger grip where I'm locked in. I love the damtanium camo carbon, and it looks very good with the blue anodized tie. This will come in multiple finishes, and this is currently available on White Mountain Knives for only $280. So, code Cripple10, or not, wrong code, guys. Code DBD drops that to $252. And one of these knives, I believe I gave you the wrong price. Yes, it was the Wrath. I way overpriced the Wrath. The Wrath, folks, is $216 on White Mountain Knives. And so it drops down to below $200. I'm going to bring these guys out now. And I do want to point out that the White Mountain Knives links will be in the description, and I do not get paid anything for those, but the code DBD does save you 10%. So it's always worth it to use that code at White Mountain Knives. We did not check the other grips on the stroller, but I do want to point out that in an Avenger grip, Beef Jerky Avenger, because of this backspacer, it is so comfortable. And if I rock this around to a Defender, that pocket clip and the texture on that pocket clip really locks into my hand. Once again, because of the lock, I am putting pressure on it and helping it stay locked in these grips. Here's a look at our 4 knives. And I'd have to say that out of these, my favorites are the Stroller and the Hydro. The Hydro, again, a CEO style, not my style, but this one is done so well and it feels so good that I got to give my boy Lute a shout. He's got me wanting this very thin CEO style knife. But this stroller, when it's available, I can't describe how good these ergos are. I forgot to mention, we are contoured on both the stroller and the Vertigo. Look at the colors right there. Look at those colors. KB Knives is killing it. All of these are amazing. Again, these two are under $200. This is available right now for just over $250. And when this is available, it'll be just over $260. And code DBD always saves you 10% at White Mountain Knives. Let me know which of these 4 is your favorite. I know this video was a little longer. I appreciate you if you stuck around with me. Look forward to seeing y'all on the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay frosty, but most importantly, folks, stay deadly.